AEW Fight for the Fallen had some major matches on the card. Of course, the main event was a war between Nick Gage and Chris Jericho. The Dark Order and Hangman Page also looked to earn shots at the World Championship and Tag Team titles, and Christian Cage, Jurassic Express are in 6-man tag team action, and Thunder Rosa makes her first appearance since becoming a full-time member, as well as Ricky Starks celebrating his win over Brian Cage. So let's get straight into it. Elite then took on Hangman Page and the Dark Order. Page seemed ready to start things off with Omega, however Anderson pulled Omega back, opting to face the Cowboy himself. Page then tossed Anderson overhead with a fall-away slam. A 10-man brawl then ensued, with the Dark Order getting the better of the Elite with tandem suplexes, and they were all left out on the floor. Back in the ring though, Reynolds was being hammered by the tag team champions of Impact Wrestling. That was until he avoided Doc Gallows, and Gallows was sent packing by Reynolds. However, Anderson soon got in and rolled up Reynolds for the first elimination. Evil Uno came in next and was with the Dark Order before Anderson was taken out by Grayson and Uno's family, evening up the odds. Matt Jackson then entered the match as the AEW crowd erupted in Johnny Hungry. Eventually, Matt tagged out to Doc Gallows, but a big moot accidentally caught him. Silver ran and hit Omega with a sliced bread number 2. Grayson and Gallows fought into the crowd, where Stu hit Doc with a flying press. At that point, they were both counted out, and then Kenny Omega and Evil Uno were battling. Uno did have the upper hand for a brief moment before Omega followed up with a V-trigger to get the win, and Silver rushed the ring and speared Matt Jackson. After the commercial break, we continue to see Silver hitting spin-out powerbombs on Matt Jackson before a series of V-triggers from Omega and BTE tricks eventually got rid of John Silver. Hangman Page met Silver on the apron, thanking him for his efforts. It was now 3-on-1. Omega sat in the face of Hangman. Page ate a V-trigger and basically he was getting destroyed before Page and Omega brawled again and smiked Omega with a powerbomb, but Nick Jackson broke up the pin and Page eventually eliminated him with a buckshot lariat. Omega was then spiked with the dead eye but just kicked out. Next up was the buckshot lariat, but Jackson held Page and the V-trigger was hit once again, allowing Kenny Omega to pick up the victory. I'm going to go to 7 out of 10. I don't mind this at all, kind of just extending the story more, but Hangman Page still looks good in defeat, which is obviously the main concern. Stage at AEW Fight for the Fallen, Pac was being interviewed. He said that some anonymous entity cancelled the car for the Lucha Brothers, who were stuck at the airport. Andrade and Chavo then came up with Chavo saying Andrade paid for a limo to be brought for the Lucha Brothers on Dynamite. No opinions on this really, it just kind of felt there, to be honest, before Ricky Starks came down to the ring with a live band at ringside. He was accompanied by Hook, who was holding roses for the champ. Stark, of course, won the FTW title from Cage last week and called the Machine selfish and inconsiderate. Not only that, he was bland. Cage couldn't get an ounce of charisma on Starks. At that point, Cage ran down and attacked the band. Starks threw flowers at Cage to avoid the punishment, escaping just in time. It was kind of just what you normally expect from a title reveal. It was okay. Before it was suddenly announced that Hiroshi Tanahashi would be coming to AEW to challenge the winner of Lance Archer or Hikaru later. Did not see this coming, but boy oh boy, I bloody well can't wait. And then it was FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. Cash Wheeler and Ortiz kicked off this exciting match before Ortiz sent Wheeler to the floor, asserting the dominance. Santana hit 2 of 3 amigos, tagging Ortiz in to finish off the third. Wheeler rushed in but was planted with a powerbomb. Harwood responded with Spinebuster for a 2 count before bringing Ortiz to FTR's corner. Ortiz tagged out to Santana, who caught both Harwood and Wheeler with a pair of boots to get in control and tagged back in, hitting a roll-up for a near-fall. Santana then hit a German suplex, but Harwood fired back with a decapitating lariat. Ortiz drove him into the mat with a powerbomb and countered the suplex, allowing him to get in control. Harwood barely kicked out and spiked Ortiz with a brainbuster, however, right at the end of the match. Cash Wheeler appeared to suffer a nasty injury as the camera showed him drenched in his own blood. It was unfortunate because the match was great up until the shortened ending. But yeah, means be what means be. And because of that, I'm probably going to have to give it a 6 out of 10 now, rather than 7 out of 10, which is the direction I think it was heading in. AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker was bragging about her win over Nyla Rose last week despite injuring her arm. She said she was still hurt, and so was Reba, so they need another person to watch her back. The question is, who could it be? Not sure, but really interested to see who it is. Before Marvez was backstage with Sting and Darby Allin, we got the announcement that AEW Rampage would be taking place in Chicago in 2 weeks. CM Punk's chance erupted. Allin said he was ready to face anyone, even if they considered themselves best in the world. Just flipping bring it on. Before we got Lance Archer crashing into Hikaru in the corner during the beginning of their match. During the break, the title bout fell to the floor. Hikaru, thanks to an attack from Haku, got the better of the IWGP US champion. Back in the ring, Archer caught the Young Bullet Club member with a series of clotheslines, and AEW's Murder Hulk Monster wasn't going down lightly. He hit the old school moonsault, firing up the crowd. He then went for the blackout, but Hikaru fought off him. Next up the blackout, and Archer hit it clean in the middle of the ring, and Hikaru just wasn't ready for the IWGP US champion. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This was really good. Really puts over Lance Archer as the champ, and we won't see Hikaru again in AEW for a while, so I guess it's kind of the least of their concerns, to be honest. Rhodes was blindsided by Malachi Black, who took the AEW EVP to the stage. Fans booed when Cody appeared to turn things around and erupted in Malachi chants as the former WWE star blasted Rhodes with the knee. This was good, but the fan reaction, kind of made me a bit nervous, to be honest. Before we got the AEW 6-man tag team match and kicked off with Christian Cage and Angelico. Cage quickly brought in Jungle Boy, who the crowd was screaming for. A phenomenal standing dropkick rocked Angelico, but he responded by beating down Jungle Boy. Hardy was driven off by Marco Stunt and Christian Cage, leaving the Jurassic Express with a 2-on-3 disadvantage before Luchasaurus finally tagged in, and he ran through all 3 men at once. Eventually the duo managed to take Luchasaurus off his feet. Jungle Boy made the save, taking out Cassidy and Angelico. Luchasaurus spiked Mark One with a chokeslam, giving Christian Cage the opportunity for the frog splash to pick up the win. After the match, Christian Cage was laid out by the Blade. I didn't mind any of this, to be honest. This was all kind of storyline progression stuff, which wasn't too bad at all, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. That was Julia Hart versus Thunder Rosa. Rosa took Hart to the corner with a clothesline and followed out with a slingshot double knee strike to the chest. After that, she cinched in a heel hook. Hart was unable to get to the ropes, and after that, it was a Fire Thunder driver for an easy win for Thunder Rosa. Normally give squashes a 6, but I'm going to give this a 5. I kind of just want AEW to move on with the women's division now. It feels like it's got a bit stale in recent weeks, and going back to how it used to be a few months ago, which none of us want. Before former AEW champion John Moxley was backstage, he is furious he can get a second IWGP title belt in Japan, but Tanahashi can just walk in and wanted to try and face him. Just bring me Moxley v Tanahashi, please. Before we got Jericho versus Nick Cage. MJF was on commentary being just brilliant. Nick Cage already had a pizza cutter in his hand for the match. They ran into one another, trading blows, and Cage planted Jericho with a spinebuster. A running boot rocked the Painmaker before Jericho avoided another boot in the corner and went for the walls of Jericho. Cage pulled on the ropes, bringing himself out of harm's way to the floor. Jericho was driven face first into the steel post. Gage pulled out several light tubes while Jericho grabbed his bat. Gage didn't notice the weapon and ate a series of strikes. However, he ducked home a homeswing run. During the break, Gage brought in several chairs and a pane of glass. He set the glass up between the 2 chairs, and Jericho made it to the turnbuckle to stop him from really doing too much damage, before somehow Gage kicked out after Jericho used all of the weapons. Gage then pulled out a shank, stabbing it into the forehand of Jericho, and to get right back in control. However, Jericho had one last trick up his sleeve. He hit Jericho with a Judas effect and laid him out for the win. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I would have given it an 8 out of 10 if Nick Gage had won, because this was an 8 out of 10 match, but I kind of just wanted Gage to win this one. But still, no harm done really for me. For this week, AEW Dynamite gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a fairly good show this week. There's lots of good little segments. None of it was absolutely mind-blowing, but Tanahashi and AEW, Nick Gage and AEW, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan coming to AEW. It's all really looking on the way up for Dynamite at the moment. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!